everybody. I know that you're probably getting tired and hopefully getting the coffee refill, getting ready for another demo. I promise this one is going to be worth your time. I'm Leah. I'm here from Inmar Intelligence. Inmar Intelligence actually bought a company called Collective Bias a couple of years ago, which many of you are likely very familiar with. What's really unique about Inmar at this point is our influencer solution took all of the wonderful things about collective bias, all of our kind of best-in-class execution capabilities in our platform, and then we molded that with first-party data. So as we kind of talk today, we're going to talk a little bit about how that data has been integrated into our process. We're going to talk a little bit about how our platform has been curated and created specifically to capture more of that data by getting kind of retailers on board and brands on board, and just being able to kind of pull together a collaborative ecosystem that's going to make much smarter and more impactful campaigns. And just a little bit about Inmar. So Inmar Intelligence actually is a company that handles several different loyalty programs across many major retailers. And because of that, it allows us to capture just billions and billions of transactions and all of the data that comes along with it. So you can kind of see some numbers here on the right. We're handling about 120 billion in commerce, so lots of data to use. Some other things that make us unique, obviously, aside from this first bullet of data-powered campaign execution, not only are we using it to execute and do sales lift, we are also pioneering some attribution work with Facebook. So if that's something of interest to you, please let me know. It is one-to-one closed loop. We also have custom campaign design. So our platform is built in a way where you can either use our services, you can use some of our services, none of our services. It really kind of depends on the type of campaigns you're executing and kind of where you do or do not need support. And I know these days everybody is a little bit bogged down, so sometimes it's helpful to have an extra set of hands. And then we also look for kind of outcome-driven campaign setup. So all of our campaigns are done with guaranteed deliverables. Our most common guaranteed deliverable is actually content views. So the research that we've done over the past few years has shown us that about 12 to 20% of someone's following actually sees a post. So we've kind of created some different platform connections and relationships across all the major platforms and collected thousands and thousands and thousands of posts worth of data. And through that kind of analysis that we've done, we've been able to create a view model, and your clients or you only pay for actual guaranteed views. So that's a little bit about us. Hopefully that is enough to keep you excited to stay till the end. Today, I'm going to be focusing on a new portion of our platform called Retail Communities, and we will jump to a demo in just a couple minutes. So obviously the reason why we're all here is because influencer marketing continues to grow. As an industry, I think we all understand it's growing. I think we all understand it's going to continue to grow, although I think there are still some questions around what is needed, what is the innovation that's going to get us to kind of the next movement. Obviously, measurement's a huge topic. We've got a lot of data showing us that marketers have truly moved influencer marketing from being kind of a top funnel tactic to a bottom funnel tactic as far as kind of KPIs are concerned. So, they need the demonstrable sales lift or some sort of indicator that the program is driving kind of bottom funnel results. In addition to that, we know that there's a need for data and data integration. And so that's why, Inmar is in a really unique position, because we do integrate with so many retailers and have access to first-party data. So, basically what we've identified is that marketers are looking for loyal influencers. They want to work with influencers who have followings that actually shop at their stores, influencers who shop at the stores themselves. They're looking for an authentic experience that helps kind of create an ecosystem outside of their kind of retailer walls and bring that to life for their customers in the social environment. So that's kind of one big piece that we've taken away from our discussions with retailers and marketers as well. Another is a focus on metrics that matter. So as we think about kind of how to encapsulate the success of an influencer marketing campaign, I think it's still worthy to talk about those digital metrics, those engagement metrics that, standard reporting. But in addition to that, we are getting asked by, I'd say, an overwhelming percentage of our customers as to how they can prove this was a value add campaign. So whether it's different types of benchmarking, whether it's a traffic analysis, whether it's an actual sales lift, and then ultimately we are doing some beta testing with our attribution product. Our clients are asking us for well beyond kind of the typical number of engagements, people reached, impressions, those metrics. And then, ultimately, we do want to make sure that, we're adding some additional inventory and opportunities for both marketers and retailers. As we think about kind of how to take this influencer marketing arena and put a new face on it, we're very excited about things like the NIL decision that was made. We actually have an NIL student athlete community, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But we are being asked for new and unique ways to kind of activate in this space, whether that's doing some new stuff on TikTok or bringing in new shopping features. We definitely want to continue to innovate. So here is our community solution. Basically, when we think about communities, and this is retail communities that we're going to focus on today because that's for the demo, but ultimately communities are across the board relevant for any of our partners, whether it's our agency partners who may want to create a community specifically for a client that they have, or maybe they want an agency community where they've created kind of this pre-vetted influencer pool that they know are safe to work with, whether that's brand safe or they know they're going to hit timelines and deliverables, any of those reasons. Or it could be a brand community. So you may have, brands that have really solid identities. I actually used to work at Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, and I mean, so many wonderful, iconic brands there, but Dr. Pepper is absolutely a brand that, they have their own specific persona in the space and want to make sure that, whether it's activating influencers or putting out a commercial or a print campaign, whatever it is, there's a specific persona that they want to have in the market, and communities can be a great fit for that. One of the things that we love about communities is the ability to kind of pre-vet and pre-stock a pool of influencers. We have a casting team of 5 people right now. We're actively hiring if anyone's interested. And we're working with those people in addition to our FitScore algorithm to kind of pull together the art and science and bring influencers together that are going to make the most sense for these communities. So we've got a rather large retailer that we work with that we've built a community for already. We're onboarding another retailer as we speak, and then we have our NIL student athlete community. In all of those cases, it's been really important to allow the casting team the time to look at things like, what does the audience pool look like? Again, are these people that shop or engage with this specific subject matter, or are these people that have audiences who are engaged with different types of brand partnerships or paid sponsorships? It's important to make sure that, you don't take creators that haven't been creating branded content and then people are surprised, like, why are you now talking about Dr. Pepper or, Pringles? So it's important for us to kind of look at those pieces, as well as the other element of communities that we really like is the collaboration features. As we think about kind of what's been missing in this space, especially when we think about retailers and even NIL, because there are so many different kind of regulatory bodies involved, you have to have collaboration from all parties. You have to be able to let a brand, a retailer, legal, managing agencies, whoever's involved, be part of influencer selection, be part of instruction writing, be part of draft approvals. All of those different steps are all collaborative. And then we also have collaborative reporting so that, as you think through other ways to manage a workflow with multiple stakeholders, we're getting away from email and spreadsheets and Google Sheets and pings and all of those things that try to pull people together. And we've set a platform in place that is going to bring everyone together in a very manageable and tracked way. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the communities that we have in place right now. We are using Inmart as a kind of overall kind of retail community that we've set up, just because our retailers do not have kind of open access to their communities as we speak right now. So more to come there. I'll make sure to keep all of you wonderful members apprised of news there. And then also, this is just a quick snapshot of kind of one of the NIL communities that we have out there. So obviously, we've kind of talked about all of these different pieces as part of communities, whether it's kind of building or managing all those elements. In addition to that, we also have our own access to creators in our community called Social Fabric, that's been around for years and years and years. I think it's 11 years at this point. So that's a unique opportunity that we bring to the team as well, because these are, creators we've been working with. We know who they are. We know that they're reliable. We know that, they're going to do whatever it is that we need them to do. They're very great with instructions. They're great with working with different brand partners. They're brand safe. Something that happens at both the Social Fabric community level, as well as even a step further down into our kind of unique retail brand, whatever NIL communities, is that we do have terms of service with our influencers. So anyone in Social Fabric has accepted overall Social Fabric terms of service, which means they've accepted our brand safety pledge, they've accepted our payment terms, they've accepted IRS reporting terms. All of those things have been accepted. And then when we get into communities, and you'll see this in a moment in the demo, you can have your own set of rules, guidelines, anything that you want your community members to accept or run through. You can have them accept that as part of being, in your community, and even at the individual campaign level as well. So you might say, we want to create a community for PepsiCo, and then you can have specific terms for Lay's if you wanted to. It's important because it allows us to do things like extend our 12-hour takedown guarantee. So, maybe you're promoting peanut butter and there's a random salmonella outbreak, whatever it might be. I think that actually happened to us a couple of years ago. We can get in contact with those creators very, very quickly and have that content pulled down, which today in our kind of unique social ecosystem that we have, I think is pretty important to a lot of partners. In addition to that, we do have different payment terms that we can allow for. So, if you want to pay within a certain period of time, or you want to do certain types of payments, maybe it's quarterly versus per campaign because you want more of an ambassador program. Any of those things can be configured all the way down at the community level. So what we've really done is we've allowed kind of brands and retailers to have their own influencer communities set up that are within kind of an established framework that we've built and curated over the last 10 years. So as you kind of arrive, and I am showing you guys this on a desktop, obviously, because it makes more sense so that you can kind of see the overall experience. Our community's platform is actually built mobile first. So you can access it on desktop, but it's definitely more mobile friendly. It's really important for us to have the mobile friendly environment because there are so many kind of retail instances where we need more of an on-the-go ability to post, like, attending store events or being in a store, whatever it might be. But you'll get the gist as we walk through it. Basically, this is the Inmart community, and we're welcoming the ambassadors here. Throughout this demo, you're going to see perspective from the influencer, from the retailer, and then you're going to see what we see on the management side as well. So you're going to kind of see back and forth the relationship between all of the different stakeholders. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the terms of service that we talked about. This is all something that we can create for you. We work with your legal. We definitely can modify this however it makes sense for this community to be set up. We obviously have kind of influencer marketing best practices, but if there's certain rules that we need to add, we can do that. If you want to be part of our community, you do have to click the continue button, and you are now agreeing to the terms of service. So probably should have mocked this up for Leah instead of Fred, but Fred will be our influencer today. I think our product team thinks it's funny that I get to be Fred. This is Fred's profile. We're going to put basic information into Fred's profile. In addition to that, there are several other kind of keywords and factors that we can put into this, but for now, we're just showing you what a basic profile can look like. Now that I've signed up, now I can give a little bit more detail here so that I can add additional insight for the casting team. So if I've got kids or pets or special talents, anything that might help our casting teams as they're matching with brands, we can add that information in. Now this is the place where we kind of show our different opportunities that are available. So within communities, imagine this is a retail community, it's Inmar. There could be several different brand campaigns running at the same time. This is kind of the opportunity shopping page for the influencer, so they can see all of the different opportunities that we've put in front of them. You can see that there's a tag for top match. So these are going to be campaigns that we think are best based on profile data, but they would be able to see all of the campaigns. We also have the ability to only allow them to see certain campaigns. So a lot of configuration we can do on the back end. Then as we go into the opportunity, they can move forward with submitting an application. In addition to that, our casting team can also invite influencers into campaigns. So they either go in and they apply themselves, or they can be invited. I'll show you guys the application page. So basically, within a campaign, we can have several different what we call rounds. It could be Instagram for a photo, it could be a TikTok, it could be stories. I mean, all the different formats are in here. Right now, I am going to select for a video round to either post on Instagram or TikTok. So I've selected. Now I'm going to go through and apply for this. What we really like about our application process is that we do ask for creators to supply a little bit of information regarding what they'd like to post about, what their ideas are. This is really, really important as we get into like food campaigns. Just so as an example, M&Ms, we've done a few M&M campaigns. We noticed when we looked at the applications that we had like 20 different influencers that all wanted to make M&M cookies. And so we didn't want to end up going back to the client and saying like, here's 20 cookie recipes. So it's important to kind of be able to see what they're doing, what their ideas are, and then also make sure you're not going to get a bunch of the same kind of content. So from here, I've decided to type in my idea into this box, and then we're going to move to the next window. Move this over. Submit application. After the application is submitted, it's going to be in review, and that in review is going to go to our casting team. Once it goes to our casting team, then we can see if there is a good fit. This is the brand view. So the casting has said, these are good people. We're going to move them into the brand view. Now you're in the brand view. And now the brands can actually review the different influencers that applied. So Fred, me, I was selected to work on this particular campaign. Being the brand, I can hit approve. Once approved, I got a notification that said, okay, cool, now you're ready to view your instructions. So the instructions are really, really important because this is where, rubber meets the road as far as making sure influencers are set up for success. We do have an instructions template that we like to fill out. Obviously, that can be very modified based on the specific need, but we like to hit a lot of the highlights to make sure we're not asking creators to redo content. So here is my instruction template. We've got different teams in place. So again, with our platform being services is optional, we can either have our kind of campaign community managers included in this step, or this is something that the agencies that are out there or brands specifically can write instructions and then we post them. Either way, it's a collaborative thing that we do, and then our team will upload them into the campaign. So you can see all of the different instructions here. There are different guidelines. There are different kind of legal pieces. This is a reminder at the bottom of all of our campaigns when we ask to accept instructions. This is a reminder, again, of those terms of service at the individual campaign level. So I've approved instructions. I'm accepting and confirming participation. Now I can see the different elements that I have due, what my different tasks are. So I have a video draft that's due. We do have drafts in several of our pieces of content just to make sure that brands can take a look at whether it's a storyboard or it's an idea like typed up in a Word doc, whatever it might be. We just want to make sure that brands have the ability to collaborate again before influencers go down the road of creating content. So we viewed, we received instant feedback, uploaded my file. I've typed in my post caption. Now the content has been uploaded to the drafts page. So this is where, as the influencer, I've got my file, I've got my caption, I submit, and then now it's been submitted. So now I'm back over to being the brand. I'm wearing a lot of hats today. I hope you guys can follow my hats. This is difficult to show a collaboration in a demo, but the goal here is for you to see that the influencers do something and see something. The brands do something, see something. They're on the same page. They're working together. So now here are the drafts. This is the collaborative content approvals between the retailer team and the brand team. You can see first the retail team is going to view this draft. Okay, the retailer said looks good on my end, good to go. Now we're going to move forward. So now it's time for the brand client to view. The brand client is going to view. They say, oh, look, my retail partner already said this looks really good on my end. So now I think it looks cool on my end, good to go. Now we can look for the review on the brand side, the review on the retail side, and then we can do a final approval. So Liz had no issues from her side either, and we are now finally approved. Now the influencer is given the instruction to go ahead and post the content. So they post the content directly as it appears in the approved draft to their social accounts, and then they come back and they submit their links. So Social Fabric is going to pull those links into our dashboard, and the dashboard is going to show content previews as well as all of the metrics on the campaign. So we report on impressions, content views, engagements, and TMV. Total media value is something that we use third-party values for in order to assign values for our campaigns. All the content will be here. All of the metrics will be here. And for an individual brand, they will see individual brand dashboards. For a retailer will have access to all of the different campaigns running within that retail community. Yeah, so our dashboard, the best thing about it is that it does update nightly. So all of the metrics are always real time. You can constantly see how campaigns are performing. And, it's definitely a tool that we use internally to continue to optimize campaigns, whether that's through kind of paid media amplification or something that we do as far as kind of giving direction to our creators. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I know that you've had a long day, a lot of demos. I hope you found a lot of value in this demo. Our collaborative platform, we do believe, is the way of the future. This is how we're going to continue to grow this industry. It's going to be important to bring in other stakeholders, especially retailers that have access to data that can make our campaigns smarter and perform better. And as we continue to work with retailers and bring that data to the table, we want to share it with you guys, whether that's through targeting or via our Prescriptive IQ Insights platform. I actually want to give you a little taste of that now. If you go to inmar.com/whim, you will see our latest and greatest holiday persona and trends report. You can put your email in and download those reports, and they're going to tell you exactly how you should be activating this holiday season, all from our Insights platform. Again, first-party data. We've got social listening data in there. We've got some trends data, search, All of the different kind of culmination of digital sources are brought together in Prescriptive IQ, and I think you'll see a lot of value there. If you're wanting us to go a step further and you actually want your own Prescriptive IQ report, please reach out. You can schedule another demo, or we can jump right into strategy planning. Either way, we definitely feel like we've got a lot to offer you guys as members, and we want to continue those relationships forward. So thanks.